April 10th, 2023, 6 p.m. Korea Standard Time. IVE drops their first studio album, IVE. IVE, featuring an extensive 11 tracks. Did it actually have to be that long? Probably not. But after listening to it, I can't say that there's too much filler, even though it does begin to feel overstuffed towards the end. Without further ado, let's get cracking. Album intro Blue Blood sees the girls flip the switch to deliver a more dark and intense track, and it's quite commanding and immersive, I must say. Great vocals, especially from Liz and Yujin. I love the brooding synths, the stomping percussion, the strings in the pre-chorus that give the song an immense cinematic quality. That was a very nice touch. Props to Starship for actually knowing how to choose an intro track. Even if the vibe it establishes doesn't really match the overall tone of the LP, it simply wouldn't make sense to have Blue Blood be placed after the lead single. Nevertheless, it was gratifying to see them tackle a different sound, which opens up a world of possibilities for future releases. Now that the appetizer is finished, we can move on to the main course, the title track, I Am. Oh my goodness, where do I even begin? I guess we can begin by recognizing that IVE has had an incredible singles run. They have not missed a beat since debuting, and are showing no signs of slowing down. What's even more impressive is how they've managed to top themselves with every comeback, and that streak of excellence continues with this record. In other words, I Am is somehow shaping up to surpass After Like in terms of greatness. This is the number 2 song of 2022 we're talking about here, After Like. So me saying that should already give you an idea of how good this track is. It opens with Wonyoung and Ray riding on the polished and slinky electro beat, unveiling an instantly memorable melody, and is fleshed out further with another swirling hook. The instrumental pulls away in the pre-chorus to create a sense of weightlessness as we fittingly transition to an airplane in the MV. Issa is put in charge of this segment, and I don't know why people seem to complain that her voice is nasally, but personally I really like her voice, and she stands out in multiple places on the song. The baton is then passed over to Lizzie, who takes the song to new heights with her angelic pipes. Thankfully my girl got her flowers on this track after being done dirty on Kitsch. When it comes to choruses, it's go big or go home, and IVE understands this very well. The centerpiece in I Am is undoubtedly one for the ages. It's been almost 500 days since their debut, and IVE's vocal blend has finally been unleashed. The girls' voices are stacked to high heaven, while the beat chugs along at full force, guns blazing. The hook here is so simple, but when backed by the pristine production and vocal layering, creates a climax that easily sweeps you off your feet. It makes me question why more groups nowadays don't choose to perform their choruses in unison, when the result is often so towering and magnificent. I think IVE's vocal line is quite underrated, honestly, and if there was any doubt that they couldn't sing, all uncertainty should be put to rest after hearing those absolutely majestic belts. Although some of the notes are ridiculously high, to the point of becoming strained, like Yujin is basically screaming, so I don't know how on earth they're gonna perform this live, but as the saying goes, IVE is full of surprises. I wish they didn't include that mini trap breakdown in the second verse, as you all know that's my biggest pet peeve in music. But in this case it doesn't bother me that much because after such a thrill, they've earned the right to play with the dynamics all they want. It's like how I'm not a fan of instrumental dance breaks, but when that chirping siren appeared in the bridge of Love Dive, I was like, you know what, let them cook. The line distribution on this is great as well. It's awesome to see Kyle on top for a change. Now I debated whether or not to give the song a score above 90 right away, but after a few more listens, and by few I mean 30 plus, I felt like I just had to. So for now it gets a 93, but believe me, there is still room to grow. For reference, After Like got a 90 at first, and now it's a 95. Difference is, the impact of I Am dawned on me right away, and is likely going to be further reaching. IVE is absolutely incredible, legends in the making. Alright, what's the next song? Oh, it's... Yeah, I actually quite like this one. I know a lot of people found it underwhelming, but I think it's a really fun and addictive track. It exemplifies how IVE is so good at drawing up just one very compelling hook and running with it for the entire song. Notice how the pre-chorus and chorus in both Kitsch and I Am share the exact same melody. That seems to be the winning formula they've devised for all their biggest hits, forcefully implanting the tunes in your head with repetitive incantations. This tactic clearly worked on me since I was humming the song all week after it came out. I don't think it's meant to be taken too seriously, it's just harmless and inoffensive ear candy. Lips. This one was a pleasant listen. Very relaxing instrumentation that's got a feel-good, catchy melody at its core. This is basically what you can expect a good but not great B-side to sound like. It's not doing anything groundbreaking, far from it, but you can definitely enjoy the vibe. Oh, and also Ixie wrote this one, so bonus points for that. Next up is Heroine. Whoa, we can't show that. I'm talking about this Heroine. A song that plays very much like a palate cleanser, and well, that's just a nicer way of saying that it's bland and tasteless. However, this is also what I mean when I say there's not that much filler on this album, because even a track that's as unremarkable as this, I don't know exactly how to describe it, but it feels like it still has a purpose to be there, you know? Mine has a very Twice-like melody, together with the atmospheric production makes it feel like a cut from Idol's early discography. The cotton candy-like keys that open the track gives it a light, airy allure. The entire song has a very dreamy aura to it, which I can appreciate. The hooks are quite effective too. I originally gave this a 77, but I felt like an upgrade was due. Hypnosis is IVE's take on an abrasive hip-hop girl crush track, one that teeters between cool and obnoxious, leaning more towards the latter. But still, with catchy bars, they're essentially beating Blackpink and aespa at their own game. This concept is definitely not my cup of tea, but I must commend the brilliance of the second pre-chorus, where the song does its best Dreamcatcher impression. The beat kicks into double time, and Liz literally morphs into Jiu, delivering an utterly ethereal segment that sounds like it was ripped straight from the tree of language. That's a killing part if I've ever heard one, and manages to make the whole song worthwhile. Next is Not Your Girl, easily the most fun song on the album, opening with a saccharine guitar riff not too far removed from TXT's Sugar Rush Ride. I love the old school appeal of the track, it really takes me back to the cheerful summer jams from 2016 and before. Back in the day, songs like this might have been too cloying and excessively exuberant for my taste, but now I've realized there's always room for a spark of sunshine and positivity. Jubilation sounds amazing on IVE, and they've clearly borrowed a page from Sistar's book with the endlessly playful instrumental and unflagging energy. If you're looking for a B-side on this album to rule your world, this is it. Absolutely perfect for the beach or the pool. Next page starts off quite promising actually, but all potential goes out the window as soon as the percussion reveals itself. I just really detest how the halftime beat creates this sluggish, staggering effect, which reduces the song's pacing to an awkward limp, where you're not sure whether to bop or stay still. And also, I must confess, Ray's delivery in the pre-chorus is quite grating to me, and I don't know why they keep adding this low-end filter on her voice. You'll hear it in the next song as well, but it just makes her performance sound empty and distant. I wish this song had a more exciting arrangement, but it offers a welcome contrast to the bombast and ebullience of the last track. Cherish is another chill song, and I think we've had enough of those at this point. I've also had it with the high pass effects, bro. Stop it now. Haven't got too much to say about this song except One Young's little you in the pre-chorus was sensational.
Sensational.
I think this track could have been a lot more enjoyable if it weren't for the unnecessary shifts in momentum. If they dialed up the bounce, we could have gotten something bubbly like Blue Orangeade, for example. First studio album, first ballad. Great opportunity to show off their vocals, and they do just that. Everyone gets a chance to shine with me indeed. It's serviceable and it does the job, nothing fancy. I tend to favor tracks that remain consistently steadfast and purposeful. Also, ballads usually end up having greater longevity than placeholder songs, so that gives it the edge. Shine With Me sounds like something you'd hear in the final episode of a survival show, but in this case it acts as a fitting closer for this record. Alrighty, that's a wrap. I enjoyed this project for sure. It's an early contender for Album of the Year, at least until aespa and LE SSERAFIM throw their hats in the ring. They also have an advantage because, frankly, not many artists drop LPs these days. IVE could certainly have been sharpened up a little by shaving off 2 or 3 tracks, maybe even more, and we'd have ourselves a great mini instead of just a good album. Despite that, I think the splendid title track allows IVE to rightfully reclaim their spot as the #1 girl group in the world. Although May 1st is just around the corner. That will do it for my review of IVE's first studio album. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel for more great content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.